Alana Husby is a self-described woodhead. She grew up in Haida Gwaii with a logger father who had enviro sensibilities. She has created a unique logging business based on her roots and her vision of reclaimed, rescued, and rediscovered. She is the president and CEO of CoastEcoTimber, Inc. It is my pleasure to welcome Alana Husby to Studio 4 to tell us more. I guess your path was set early, growing up in the Charlottes and Haida Gwaii with a dad in the logging business.
Yes, I didn't know what I wanted to do from a young age, but come my 20s, I knew that was the direction I wanted to go in.
And he did send you off the island, did he not? I think you went to school in Vancouver. And
yeah, Crofton House as a boarder the day I turned 13.
Oh, perfect, perfect.
Yeah, lived with Miss
We called it
Addison.
Crofton House Mickey Mouse, but I won't tell you why.
Okay.
So, but you were schooled in Vancouver and back and forth to the island, and now this. What are you up to?
Oh, what am I up to? We're rescuing wood from rivers, lakes, oceans, and beachcombers, old buildings, arborists, you name it. I rescue it, as well as the Panama Canal.
And that is pretty interesting. So when you say old wood, is it from floors in schools, along beaches?
You bet. It's old timbers in schools, trees that go down. I have arborists that call me from all over BC, debris traps, waste piles, you name it. But Panama's the exciting one. It's a whole jungle underneath the Panama Canal.
Well, that's because of Teddy Roosevelt, I suspect. Isn't it? President Roosevelt, when we were building the Panama Canal, flooded, made the big lake.
He did. In 1913, he dammed the Chagres River, and he created a lake the size of Montreal. And so it's a complete standing jungle underneath the water, 80 feet below.
Pristine jungle, like still perfect trees?
Perfect, perfect. And it's been in fresh water, so they are perfectly preserved. Back in the old days, if you wanted to make a ship mast, you'd actually put the log in mud to starve it of oxygen. So essentially that's what's happening here. It doesn't collapse the cells, it keeps it very structurally sound.
So, you know it's there, many people know it's there. How did you get access to it?
We're working with a local company, and we're working with different government officials in different levels of government.
I bet you are.
It's fun, yeah. They like what we do because 5 generations BC logger, we're ecological, and we like to hire local people. So.
No, I interviewed your father. I was doing a show about forestry in British Columbia, and I went to the Charlottes or to Haida Gwaii and interviewed Dad, and he took me around, and he was one of the first to do sustainable logging.
Totally, yes.
And give a hoop about the environment.
Truly.
And, you know, selective logging and putting back and silviculture and all of the above.
He had fisheries and wildlife officials before you had to by law. He really wanted to take care of the forest, so it's good.
We used him as our good example.
Did you?
You'll be happy to know.
That's funny.
You can tell him.
I will.
Okay, so now did you learn about the BC logging business from Dad, or did you pay much attention, and how did that work?
Growing up, it was always around the table talking about logs and lumber and that kind of thing. But when I came to him and said I wanted to learn the business, he said, go to school. So I went to BCIT for a year, certified forest technician, and learned everything from silviculture, planning, road building, you name it.
Yeah.
Finished up there, and then he said, go work with the men. I said, okay. So I went to the dryland sort, Twin Creeks on the Sunshine Coast, and learned chainsaw, excavator driving, bundling the logs. I learned the grading of the raw logs, looking for little bug holes, you name it. So I finished up there. He's like, go learn lumber. So I followed.
Fine.
So I must follow these gorgeous guys around. I will.
I guess I can.
So I got to work with the best in the business. John Okamoto, Glenn Fox are the custom cutters, and I followed them around like a puppy dog. Kept my mouth shut, my ears open, and I learned as much as I could. And they said, Dad's like, go try and get your lumber grading ticket. And everybody's like, don't bother, nobody gets it the first time. And I was like, I don't want to do this again. So I hired my teacher, Iqbal Dhaliwal. He was like a national grading champion, and went out to Surrey every weekend and studied so hard, and passed the first time by 0.5%.
Wow. And you come from softwood country, spruce, pine, fir, all of the above. And then you decide Panama, hardwood. So take me back to Panama.
Sure.
How do you harvest the timber?
Well, we have.
What do you use to harvest the timber?
Our loggers go down, they're divers. They go down, they guy line the trees to these big tanks, and then they use a vegetable oil hydraulically powered chainsaw.
Right.
They cut the tree, it pops up, but it's hardwood, so it drops down right again. We hook it to the barge and go after the next one. Yeah.
And the divers are down how long?
Not very long. It's only 80 feet below, so they're probably down for, you know, 10 minutes.
And the wood is pristine, and what kind of wood is there? Like teak and...
Yeah, we have ipe, which is like a very, very hard and iron wood. Kumaru, we have a zapatero, which is chocolate gorgeous wood. And we have the cedro espino and espave, which is a white mahogany.
Hard, makes great decking, I'm sure.
Deckings,
other things, floors.
You bet, siding.
So your chainsaw, do you soak it in oil or something? I can't imagine that a chainsaw works underwater, but I guess this one does.
It's powered by hydraulics, so big air compressor.
Okay, so slow going down, fast coming up, and then you take the logs to the shore.
Yeah.
And then how do you get them to Canada or to South America? Where are you sending them?
Well, we mill up the blanks in Panama, and then to minimize my risk at this point, I bring the wood home because we know our stuff in BC. And to get my special, I call it special sauce for kiln drying, was quite an ordeal. We had to try microwave kilns, conventional steam, but we finally nailed it here. So we do that, and then we do further processing. If it's going to be decking, I send it to these people. If it's going to be siding, flooring, furniture, it depends where I will send it next. Yeah.
So, but in British Columbia?
In British Columbia.
So it's value added. Can we call it that? It really is value added.
Yeah. I think so. I'm just bringing it from somewhere else instead of...
Sure, but walnut? No.
Yeah, there's a Brazilian walnut, also known as a kumaru. So it's a very light texture. It's beautiful, absolutely beautiful.
Who knew what President Roosevelt was up to?
I know.
You know, in those days they wouldn't say, gee, this is a beautiful old growth forest and people live here perhaps, and probably President Roosevelt said, get out, we're building a canal.
Totally.
Exactly. So this wood, is this example of some of the wood?
It is. I've had some veneers made up from the wood, meaning you just take thin slices. So this was light enough I could bring it. This is our zapatero, and no dark stain is on this. It's really this beautiful.
It's that color.
Yeah, it's chocolate. It's gorgeous. It's got like cafe streaks. It's stunning. This is siding, decking, flooring, mantles. Beautiful. This is the espave, which is also stunning, and it's used for veneers, paneling, you name it.
Right.
And
or
then,
can you get just the lumber?
Oh yeah.
Like the full thing. You don't have to get a veneer.
No, you can get full slabs, boards, timbers, cants, anything.
How great.
It's fun.
How great. And what is this?
This is one of my favorite BC species. This is yew wood. This is one of our hardest species. Oh. And I just love this sapwood. This is just a cheese board, but I could actually haul it, so I brought it.
No, but yew wood.
Yes, it's one of our... It's probably one of my favorite BC woods, truly.
And I think there's something in the yew tree that's good for preventing cancer, or they use it in a cancer treatment, a breast cancer treatment,
I've heard
don't they?
Yes, I've
It's
heard
amazing
this.
what we have in our forests. Now this heart, I was going to talk to Dr. Dyer about the heart because he's good at, you know, melding hearts back together. What is this?
This is the Love Me Not, K-N-O-T, and it's from an old school in North Van. Don't ask me which one because I can't remember, but it's a big glue lamb beam, and glue lamb is when you take 2x4s to create structure and you glue them together. So that's what that is. I took the glue lamb and then had it made, and it's either a coffee table or 2 stools, or just gonna have fun in your living room.
And is it one only, or are you making more of these? This is a sample, or is this an artist piece and you can only have that one?
I made 8 this time, but the demand's been crazy, so we're going to be making more, and we're showing them off. We're doing a launch tonight at the Rocky Mountaineer, so we're showing that off as well.
Oh, how great.
It's fun.
And what about other things? Tables, bench tables, garden benches. So you're bringing artists in to do it, or you're doing it, or the company's doing it?
I know nothing about furniture, but I knew what I wanted.
Fine. Your dad will make you go to furniture school.
No, I just hire the best. There are some of the best furniture making shops in the world are in BC. So I give them my sketches, I give them the wood, and I let them do what they're good at. And so we've got tables, mantles, desks, wall dividers, gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous things.
How great.
It's fun.
And your clients are where? South America, Japan, Canada,
Japan,
USA?
China. USA is a big one. We send wood to Colombia. We send all over the world, and we're starting to pick up a bit more.
Okay, and what are the politics of all of this? If you're reselling waste wood, or you're pulling timber out of a big lake in Panama, what hoops do you have to jump through to do that? Like, do you have to get a tree farm license, or,
No,
you know?
we have concessions, and the government's been very, very good to us. And I met with the Minister of Commerce last time I was down, and the mayor, and garnered their support, because we do want to grow down there. We want to hire lots of local people and train them. And I'm working on the Do Good Wood Foundation. We want to give back from every single stick we pull up back to the community. So that's part of our plan, is to really help Panama.
Now somebody is renovating their home and they have a beautiful floor that they just don't want anymore. Can they call you? Would you come and say, I'll take that floor out for free?
Yep, they could call me, or I'd give them another person's number that they could call.
Sure.
That could come. I could help with whatever they need.
Yeah, and that's probably a small project, but as you know, some of these beautiful old buildings, they're demolishing. There's some fabulous wood.
Fabulous wood, and the story behind it and the energy with that wood is unbelievable.
Well, you know, there's always been a rumor that many of our giant cedars are buried under the ocean in Japan.
Freshwater.
I would think, because salt would
corrode it, but that is true. I've heard that as well.
Have you heard that?
Oh, yeah.
I've heard it too, and I thought, that's a rumor. The Japanese have yellow cedar that we've sent them, the raw saw log, and
you bet.
It's buried under a lake.
Well, they have full systems, like big pools of fresh water, and they have systems. You can go buy logs and pick your log. They'll pull it up very delicately. I've heard this as well. It's pretty neat.
Yeah, so maybe that's not a rumor. How wonderful for you.
Oh, thank you.
Carry on the family tradition.
It's fun.
I mean, really. Do you have a sibling in the biz or anything, or you're the only one?
My sister Nicole is a teacher, and she's a goddess. She's always wanted to be a teacher. I always wanted to be a businesswoman. I just didn't know where I'd go. But
exactly.
Now I do.
Well, you can send her the love table or something for Christmas.
I will.
Nice to see you.
Thank you so much, Fanny.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Alana Husby and Coast Eco Timber Collection launch, and that's from 9 to 4 today at Rocky Mountaineer Station.